Okay, we're back, and we have with us Mr. Akinsiju, Niyi Akinsiju, veteran journalist, writer, policy analyst, and Deputy General Secretary, NLC, Comrade Ismail Bello, who has been explaining what, if one can call it a mix-up. It's not really a mix-up. I guess it's about language and people wanting to be careful, but
it's about our own process.
And also about processes, yes. So NLC has its own processes, and so and I think, as I read Comrade Ajero saying on the paper of yesterday, that no one person can call it off. So I guess we know the form, and by now say, okay, it looks as if indeed the release was true, but Mr. Ajero is saying that staying on due process, we can't here declare the protest over. We're going to have to revert, as the comrade that just told us,
an emergency was called for 10 a.m. this morning.
That was called for 10 a.m. this morning.
Bringing together all labor leaders across Nigeria.
Whereupon
those who could get to Abuja got to Abuja. Those who couldn't get are connected on Zoom.
And then it will be officially pronounced
at the end of the meeting, I'm sure it will address.
So Labour resumes dialogue with the federal government.
That's key.
That's key,
yeah.
And that's the projection. So people should forget about protest, at least, going forward from there.
Hoping that we also have a productive outcome from the dialogue process. Speedily.
Exactly.
Speedily, because the pain on the Nigerian people about this policy is really very deep. Very, very deep.
And Mr. Akinsiju, as Labour is saying, they are staying on their constituency, which is the welfare of the Nigerian worker. And I think Comrade Bello also agrees that, look, when you look at it, the president's speech of 2 days ago, it was an umbrella over all of the demands of NLC. But they have to be worked out. And NLC also is saying that it's not just government that has due process. Even we have our own due process. Ajero is quoted in the papers as saying that no one person can call off that strike. But no problem. We'll probably be hearing it later on. But we thought that Labour was going to dig in. In fact, that was the reason for the first caption that had to be removed, because as of this morning, it had become a lot clearer that well, actually, Labour is just insisting on due process, and by and large, the protest is over. It's just that dialogue shall resume, and people are looking for Labour, and indeed all of Nigeria is wanting that as quickly as possible, those things that had been promised by Mr. President are now, indeed begin to be implemented.
I seriously I don't think there's a strong ground, for Labour to want to continue the protest or even embark on a strike. The president's speech, as you noted, more or less created an environment of environment of engagement, appropriate, positive engagement with Labour and even the larger Nigerian populace. But I feel, that in character, Labour just wanted to flex muscle to show that it has a position. Because the interesting aspect of the negotiation or even the direct engagement with Mr. President going on at the Port Harcourt refinery. So the Labour itself has direct, direct barometer to measure whatever is happening at the Port Harcourt refinery. Now, going beyond that, I am requiring Labour to go beyond engagement, to go and become a major partner with the president and the government in creating the enablement, that is required at this time. Because if we are talking about recreating the economy, it is actually trying to redeem, what our situation will be. And therefore, there should be a partnership, a functional partnership between Labour and government. One, and how do we see that partnership happening? Let Labour, in truth and in deed, represent the Nigerian people by monitoring the implementation processes and templates of all the palliatives and other policies, that had been announced, so that in a way we will know that the Nigerian people will know that the labor is actually being functional at this time. I want to see, after the meeting of the Labour Congress, of the leadership of the Lagos Labour Congress today, that each of those palliatives or each of those measures being put in place are put under the microscope and are, of course, properly, dissected, positions made, the possibilities of proper implementation, the possibility of success, derived and analyzed and put in the public space. So it's not just going to be about what government is saying.
Gentlemen, I beg your pardon. All this time, sorry, comrade. Comrade wants to come in, and but I have
so that
somebody has been waiting.
You
won't lose it because you wanted to object to Labour was flexing. You wanted to object to that, so you're going to come back to that. But I don't want to lose Mr. Bubakar in Kaduna. Okay. He's been on for a while. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Bubakar.
Good morning, Uncle Yuri. How everything, sir?
Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you very much. And a very welcome to this, your guest, Comrade Ismail. Okay. You see, it's a very happy something to hear that Labour is dialoguing with government, and maybe they may suspend the strike, which nobody like it because it may lead to another thing which we are not happy with. So dialogue is better than this protest. But I want to commend the Labour Union, and at the same time want to remind them that truly it is not only active workers that are in difficulties whenever some of this type of problem happens, because sometimes they forgot to remember the retired civil servant, especially the retired civil servant under contributory pension scheme. These people, in fact, they are not different from destitute on the street, because as you retire, you contribute your pension, and there is no any increment. If you are placed on 10,000 pension per month, I'm telling you, for more than 20 years or any years you be on that pension, no increase. There is no room for increment. Those people are suffering in silence. No union remember them. Federal government is not remembering about them. They are only left to the insurance company. Nothing again. They don't gain anything.
Okay.
They don't earn anything.
The point is well noted.
Point has been taken, Mr. Bubakar, calling in from Kaduna. Thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Before I lose my thread of thought.
Okay.
First, that Labour is embracing dialogue at this point in time is also a show of appreciation of the commitment to drive in a new direction. If you know the traditional position of Labour on the issue of subsidy, we will have just told Mr. President it's not possible. But we didn't say that. Yeah, we will have just said it's not possible. Well, we didn't say that. Within the context of the policy changes and the policy reforms we are doing, the people must matter. I think that is the issue.
That is the big one.